Welcome to the Book Club Life, and where we talk a lot about books, a little about life, and have awesome author interviews. And I cannot believe I am sitting here with 5 million copies, about 5 million, almost. Yeah, you know what's 4.9 or 5 mil books sold, and one of my writing heroes. And I just
Jenny.
love you. I read all your books as a teen, and I recently reviewed in an episode the Christy Miller books, which begins with Summer Promise, and this is a combo book. But believe it or not, I had not ever heard of Christy Miller until recently. I grew up on your Glenbrook series that I borrowed from my mother.
Oh, yep.
And I kept hearing about Christy Miller all over the place, like, oh my gosh, I just adore you, Christy Miller, on interviews. I've watched all of your interviews. And so I was like, well, I have to try them out. And they were awesome. They
Could
were
relive your teen years
yes,
all over again.
all of those awkward
those
moments.
memories.
And fun and romance and things you thought were going to be romantic and totally weren't. And then I listened to this, Victim of Grace, and as usual, you made me laugh, but you also made me cry.
And I read it to you because I did the
You
audiobook
did,
on
yes.
that, so it was like having
Yes.
a bedtime story.
That's right. I listened to it on Audible, and I got
Yes.
Robin's voice. So we cried together. I don't know.
Oh,
Probably you cried at some point
I
when you were
did.
writing it, and I cried listening.
I did recording it too. The engineer had to stop the recording a couple times. Okay, let me have a moment. Okay, start recording again.
Oh, that's funny. And then your Father Christmas novellas were
Yes.
made into Hallmark movies. So me and my family loved those.
Oh,
I love
good.
watching good movies with my daughter that are, you know, deep, and I get all the adult stuff, and then
Yep.
she gets to see all the fun
Yep.
Christmassy
That's
Hallmark stuff.
wonderful.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
So thank you for that. And then you're starting a new series.
Yes.
And I just finished it, and it was really good, Becoming Us. And I chose this because I thought it would be a great book club book, because it's all
Yeah.
about friendship and just how that happens, and when you're on the outside of a group, you know, when you're not quite in, and then when you are in the group. And so
Yeah.
it's about a group of girls. And then
The importance of having that connection and having those friends in different seasons of life. And
right,
Yeah.
because you don't want to go through life alone, you know.
Yeah.
And God has so much for us. It's just, where is it?
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
Yes. So for our section of this section of the interview, I will ask you questions that if I was with my book club at home in my living room, that I would throw out, and whoever felt comfortable would answer.
Okay.
And so I'm going to put you on the spot for these.
I'm ready.
So in the book, one older character tells another character to plant the sweet things
Yes.
in life, the things that you want to grow, that you love and you want to see flourish. So what sweet thing have you planted in your life, and what would you like to plant more of?
I have learned over the years that to be grateful, no matter what the circumstances, that becomes a sweet thing, because there's always things that go wrong, and there's crazy making and frustrations. But if you find each day and in each situation the things to be grateful for, it changes your attitude. We know that, we've heard that, we've read books on that.
Right.
But it's like planting those sweet seeds,
Right.
and they start to grow up, and you start to see things more frequently that you can be grateful for, or you start looking for the things, oh, I wonder if God is leading me this
Right.
way or that way, instead of seeing all the roadblocks or the frustrations that,
Yeah.
yep,
You
we all have
notice-
those challenges.
You notice the little beauty spots
Yeah.
and the
And
lovely
it
things.
is beautiful. It grows into something in you that brings that peace and that joy, and just comes out.
Right. That's so true. Very good. Okay, so next question. I noticed there are a lot of mother-daughter relationships, some that are
Yes.
going really well, some that are struggling in the book. And so I just wondered, what is one thing that you've learned about mother-daughter relationships that has helped you as a daughter and as a mother?
I have a daughter who's grown and has 2 little boys and is just doing great, and she and I have a very close relationship. I just saw her a couple days ago. We have had an unusually sweet and close relationship, and we've been able to plant the sweet things in that. I did not have a nurturing mother. My mom's still alive, and she's still not nurturing. She doesn't read any of the books I write. I had 3 Hallmark movies. Oh, I'm not going to watch those. Why would I watch those? And just whatever it is that got planted in her and just grows up the discontent and the bitterness. And so growing up with a mom that wasn't nurturing or affirming in a lot of ways put it into my heart that I wanted to do that not only for my own daughter, but in the stories, to be able to lead those women that have been in difficult and discouraging relationships into a place where, as they're reading about these characters, they say, you know what, I need to do that too. I need to forgive my mom. I need to release that. I need to start focusing on the things that I can be grateful for. I'm grateful for many things with my mom, but as far as being a writer and an artist, that never was something that was connection for her to see that as something to nurture in me. And I think that there's such a need for forgiveness and for release, and that's why I have Emily in Becoming Us, gets to that point where she realizes, you know, if my mom was in a wheelchair physically, I would not continue to go to her and say, get up, come give me a hug. And yet some of us have moms who are in wheelchairs emotionally.
Right.
Or from life experiences, to the point where we keep expecting something from them emotionally that maybe is just so broken they can't give that to us at this point, or maybe never. And so to stop expecting that, but rather say, you know what, I can go to you. I can go and I can pour love and affirmation and kindness on you. Because if I pour it out, I know Jesus is just going to fill me up. I'm never going to be replete of having that grace and love. So this character, Emily, really echoed a lot of what I've journeyed through over the years of choosing to be the one to just pour out the love. And just watch the Lord just fill it back up continually.
I love that. That is so deep, and I know that there are a lot of people in your same position. You know, that I can think of someone that I know right now that just, they're never going to get that from their mom. My mom, I'm so blessed. She's awesome, but I do know people, I have friends that, their mom is just, they don't have it. They just, for whatever reason. So I do love that you put, that you have both sides in your books, you know. And
it should never hinder you from who you become or what you do or how you choose to live.
Right.
Just because that was part of your journey. If anything, it makes you more sensitive of how you can just give lavishly, just pour out that love.
And
you won't run
and
out.
And here's a wonderful example. And I do want to mention, I forgot to mention, I'm going to give away a copy of Becoming Us.
Good.
So check the show description for how to enter. And then also that goes to our next question.
Okay.
Because when you didn't get that affirmation from your mother, okay, so there's a character in here, and she says to a group of women who have just spoken loving truth to her, you know, words that she needed to hear. And then, actually she doesn't say this, but it's a quote that she's thinking. For a woman whose heart feels permanently starved for affirmation, their words went deep. And I loved that line. I can think of certain words that friends or family have said to me that really grew it in me. They called something out, and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that, but you know, you're right. And then I just did it even more, how they called that out. And so what is an encouragement, affirmation, or compliment that you've been given that made an impact on your life?
Years ago, I was with a really close friend and just pouring out all the things that were going wrong and everything. And when I finished, she just looked at me and said, "You're doing good. You're doing good." And it was sort of this affirmation that, hey, this is the journey. This is the path you're on. This is really bumpy, but you're okay. You're doing good. And those words went so deep because I just saw myself as being in the midst of these disasters and what a train wreck. So I saw that there's such power, and as women, we can give that affirmation to other women with short, simple words that go deep, as Jenny was saying.
Yeah.
And it's so easy for us to do that, but we hold back. And that's
Right.
where I would love to see women be more extravagant in their choice of just giving encouragement and affirmation to other women, instead of sort of standing back and comparing and
Right.
wondering and thinking, I wonder what they're thinking, and I wonder what their life is like, but rather just the things that you see and admire, just speak them. Just call them out as a encouragement to them, because we all know how rare that is,
Right.
and how it's more frequent that those who are closest to us will take it upon themselves to point out the things that they think we should work on.
Right.
And rather than just not a false kind of compliment, but rather a truth.
Right.
I'm just going to say a truth back to you that you might
Yeah.
not see. I'm going to be a mirror right now, and you have to look at me because you're not looking at who you really are. So look at me. I'm your mirror right now. I'm going to say truth to you, and you go, oh, I didn't even know that was there.
Yeah.
It's power. It
Right.
really is.
Right. And it doesn't even have to be in a correctional way when they're like, oh, I look terrible. You know, it can just be offhanded. You know what I've noticed about you? You're really, you know, whatever.
You're doing
and
good.
Those are so
Yeah.
important, especially when we have all those negative thoughts that just come against all of us, you know, and or you imagine other people not liking you for various reasons.
All that.
So yes. So don't believe those, but do believe your wise friends.
Yes.
Okay, one more quote for this section. So somebody says in the book, I feel like I've been waiting a long time for a group like ours. I think a lot of women feel there's still, no, sorry. The quote was, I feel like I've been waiting a long time for a group like ours. End quote. And then what I've noticed is, I think a lot of people still feel like they're waiting. You know, they're just like, I didn't get invited to the book
Right.
club or the
Right.
whatever. So what is your advice for people in that situation? And have you ever had that feeling?
Oh yes, we all do. You be the one. You take the risk. You invite a few friends over. Maybe it won't go well at all, and you never want to see them again. That's okay. Try it again. And to be the one who is brave enough to open her home, or say, let's meet at the park, or let's go for coffee, and gather a few women together. I have done that, and I have been in groups where a couple of the women will really hit it off, and they'll just strike up a sweet friendship and kind of leave the rest of us in the dust. That's okay. That's okay. It's all those attempts. When you are putting together a recipe to make it your own, and you have all the ingredients, and the first one you burn, or it's a failed attempt, or there's just way too much cinnamon, that's okay.
Right.
You have the ingredients. You have it within you. Just try again and adjust a little bit. What we did with the Becoming Us novel, there are questions in the back for a book club, but then also at ChristyMillerShop.com, we put together a download that's really sweet.
I saw those.
Isn't that darling?
Those were really
it's
pretty.
so darling.
Yes.
So it's 10 pages, and you get invitations that you can fill out, because we like to get those personal,
Yes.
cute, filled out invitations, and hand them to 3, 4, 5 women and gather them together. And if you want to have a favorite things party like the women did in Becoming Us, the download gives all the instructions, and it also has some icebreaker tips, and yeah, it's really a do-it-yourself, turnkey, gather with some women. I have already heard from 2 different groups. We just put it up
Wow.
a week and a half ago. And these sweet stories that are coming back, and how once they opened up, these women discovered there were other women in the group. Well, I didn't know your daughter went to that preschool
Right.
also.
Yes.
Well, we should carpool, or just that connectedness. And that's what we are made for, communion and fellowship. So when we make that effort, Jesus said, where 2 or 3 gather together in my
Yes.
name, I'm right there in the midst of them.
Right.
So just gather and see what he does. It's kind of exciting to think
Yes.
about the possibilities.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I remember having the thought, oh, book club would be fun. You know, I was a part of one once. It would be fun, but I don't know if anybody would want to come. And my husband really pushed me. He's like, do it.
Yep.
And so I did, and it lasted a long time until I had too many kids to keep it up. Now I'm slowly bringing it back, but definitely not monthly. So yes, loved it.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're at the last section of our interview.
Okay.
This is the Just for Fun, and we're going to keep it very short and sweet
Okay.
because Robin's the keynote speaker, and she has appointments all day. And so, just for fun, we both know Tricia Goyer. So
Yes.
Tricia Goyer is blank.
An energetic, amazing, faith-filled woman who always makes me smile.
Oh, that was awesome. I was thinking one word, like,
Oh no, that's Trisha's.
one word is
Trisha's
Trish-
too
yes.
much for
That's
just
right.
one word.
That's right.
She needs a full sentence.
She is amazing, and she's going to be on the show in the future. So
We wrote a book together, Trisha and I. It's
That's
called
right.
Praying for Your Future Husband. And the letters that she and I get from that book are
Yes,
amazing.
Trisha has a fabulous story. I know
Actually,
a lot of
I'm
people
going
already
to.
know her, but
I'm sorry, Jenny, but
yes, you
I'm
gotta
going
go?
to see. No.
Oh.
I'm going to see Trisha. I'm going to see Trisha tomorrow.
oh, really?
Tomorrow, Sunday. Yes.
Oh.
Yep. And we're doing an interview together
Oh, how fun.
in Denver. So
And
I'll fly in
focus on
and
family?
well,
Somewhere
the
else?
photographer, cinematographer is from Focus, and it's
Okay.
for a book that Trisha's written. And anyways,
Okay,
I'm sure
top secret. We'll wait for it.
yes, and so just follow Trisha, and I'm sure she'll
Okay.
announce it like crazy.
I'll put Trisha's
I'm excited though. I get to
info
see her.
on the show notes
Yeah.
too. Okay, we'll tell her I said hi.
Okay,
Favorite dessert?
chocolate, anything.
Okay. It's a classic. You can't
Yes,
go wrong
especially dark chocolate.
with. Yes, all of the flavor and the intensity, and it's
Yeah.
an antioxidant.
That's
so it
right.
feels good
It's
to
good
eat
for you.
it. All right, last question. And Robin lives in Hawaii, which is having a little bit of trouble right now.
Yes.
But normally, sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise, because I'm an early riser, when I get up and I like to greet the day and listen to the birds and see the sun just light up
I love
the
it.
world. Yeah,
I love it.
fresh starts. I'm all about fresh starts, new beginning.
Yeah, every day. is
His
a new
mercy
beginning.
is new
That's
every
right.
morning. So yesterday wasn't so great. That's okay. Tomorrow, just wake up with that attitude and be grateful and
Yes.
see what God's going to do.
Yes. What will come up with the sun? Well, Robin, thank you. You have been amazing.
Jenny.
Thank you for taking the time for me. I just have to give you a hug.
I appreciate you
And
doing this very much.
yes, thank you. Well, don't forget to enter the giveaway. And if you enjoyed the show, please consider subscribing and check out all the other author interviews and book reviews. And happy reading.